All right, welcome back. Reading, writing, and coding? Well, the first two are established fundamentals for children to learn in school. And now that our world becomes more and more high-tech, coding likely to become the third. Joining me right now, John McCulley, to tell us more about devices like robots and some really interesting toys that kids can get their hands on that will help them code down the line.
I think this is really smart too for toy companies to be getting in on this game, because it's coding is becoming more relevant as more people have to deal with Excel spreadsheets and databases day by day. You need to know more about how these logic problems work, and our kids growing up are going to need to know much more by the time they get jobs. So there's some really cool options out there, especially with summer coming up, that you can buy and help your kids learn how to do some really cool logic problems and learn how to code.
Especially starting them early. I feel like that's the best way for kids to learn, is almost when they don't even realize that they're learning, that they're just having fun. So you said there's some toys on here.
Absolutely.
That kids can get.
The first one we're looking at is the Code and Go robot mouse. Now, if you look at the cards to the left and right of it, basically what those do is help the kids follow directions and build logic problems to get the mouse to get to the cheese. So that second one we saw was called the Codapillar. Now these two, I know, it's a cool play on words. These two devices are for kids that are 3 and under, because all they have to do is set the cards out and set up the obstacles, and basically the mouse or the Codapillar will follow those logic problems to get to the cheese. Now, if they make a mistake and the logic problem doesn't work, the Codapillar and the mouse will stop. So basically they understand that their code doesn't work, so they have to fix it. Now, the other two that we saw there were Ozobots and Spheros.
I think you're just making up words on me right now.
You can Google them, I promise.
I'm just kidding.
Basically, the way they work, they're for the older kids, for the 5 and ups, and you have to get on an iPad or a mobile telephone, and you set up the code on the phone, the logic problem, and the Ozobots and Spheros will only work if all the code works. So if you want them to move and you want them to talk back to you, you have to get the code right. It's really cool.
That is so neat. And you said you have a 3-year-old yourself, and did you guys tested maybe some of this out to see if they'd work?
The Codapillar he's had a chance to use, and this is really cool because basically how the Codapillar works is you see all the directions on its back here.
Yeah.
This thing will follow any direction that's on its back, so the cards match all of these, so they can actually put things on the ground and he will follow, the Codapillar will follow it. It's very interesting how that works.
That is just so cool. We were just talking, I mean, growing up, I did not have anything like this. I mean, I was just playing with my Barbies, and so it really is interesting to see what kids have the option to get out there in Fisher-Price making stuff like this that they can learn at an early age.
It's very cool, and all these things are relatively inexpensive, less than $50 for the Code and Go mouse. The Codapillar is right around that range too. So they're things you can get, and you can get a summer's worth of fun out of teaching them how to do these cool logic problems.
Yeah, so does your 3-year-old have fun doing this kind of stuff?
There's no telling right now. The older ones, they're getting into it, and they're interested in code, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, very interesting. Well, thank you so much. I think that's some fascinating stuff that, I mean, like I mentioned, I feel like when you learn the best is when you don't even know that you're really learning, you're just having fun with it.
Absolutely.
You just can enjoy it.